Hey, sex educators, I'm super excited to be releasing a new series called How Much Longer Will You Wait? This is a series that follows three couples as they navigate the ups and downs of relationships, including falling in love, dealing with conflict, learning to communicate, and more. Each couple has their own unique set of circumstances, and we get to explore those through these bite-sized stories. So today, we are releasing our first episode in the series. But before we jump into it, I have an announcement that I am so excited to share with you. And now on with our video. The cafe buzzed with quiet conversation and the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Light streamed through the large windows, casting a warm glow over the mismatched furniture and shelves lined with well-loved books. The bell above the door chimed, announcing a new customer, and all eyes turned to the newcomer. A woman with fiery red hair tied in a loose bun, her face framed by unruly curls, her eyes sparkling with intelligence and a hint of mischief. Her name was Amara, or Mara as she preferred. She scanned the room, a playful smile on her lips before spotting someone in the corner. "Ah, there you are," she said with a wink, striding towards the table. Ilara, nestled in the corner booth, looked up, her face lighting up with a mixture of relief and affection. She pushed a stray strand of hair behind her ear, revealing the soft blush that had already begun to creep up her neck. "You're early," she said with a teasing smile. Mara chuckled, pulling up a chair. "Couldn't stay away," she replied, her eyes twinkling. "Besides, I wanted to hear all about your day." Ilara couldn't help but roll her eyes fondly. She'd known Mara since childhood, and yet she still found herself charmed by her best friend's unwavering enthusiasm. Their friendship had been a constant in Ilara's life, a source of comfort and joy through thick and thin. Mara was the kind of person who saw the best in everyone, always ready with a listening ear and a helping hand. But recently, Ilara had started to feel more for Mara than just friendship. Her feelings had been growing for months now, a slow burn that had become a raging fire. Still, she kept it hidden, afraid of jeopardizing their friendship. "Tell me everything," Mara urged, leaning in conspiratorially. Ilara hesitated, playing with the sleeve of her sweater. "It was fine," she finally said, hoping Mara wouldn't probe further. But Mara wasn't one to let things go. She had a knack for knowing when something was bothering Ilara, and she wasn't about to give up until she got to the bottom of it. With a sigh, Ilara decided to confide in Mara. She told her about the project, about the frustration she'd encountered, and then about the dream she'd had last night. Mara listened intently, her eyes full of understanding and support. When Ilara finished, there was a comfortable silence as Mara absorbed what she'd heard. Finally, Mara spoke, her voice soft but firm. "Ilara, you can't keep carrying this burden alone. You need to talk to someone." Ilara shook her head, her eyes downcast. "I don't want to burden anyone with my problems," she murmured. Mara reached out, her fingers gently cupping Ilara's chin, forcing her to meet her gaze. "You're not a burden, Ilara, and talking about your feelings won't make you a burden," Mara said patiently. "Sometimes we need help, and that's okay. Asking for it is a sign of strength, not weakness." Ilara looked into Mara's eyes, searching for reassurance. Mara's gaze was unwavering, filled with kindness and empathy. In that moment, Ilara felt a wave of emotion wash over her. Tears welled up, threatening to spill. She blinked them back, surprised by her own reaction. Mara, ever attuned to Ilara's emotions, reached out, her touch grounding Ilara amidst the turmoil. "Hey," Mara whispered, her voice laced with concern. "If you want to cry, let it out. If you want to laugh, let that out too. Whatever you need, I'm here for you." Ilara took a deep breath, trying to compose herself. She knew Mara was right, but the idea of opening up, of exposing her vulnerability, terrified her. She began, her voice shaky. "I'm afraid." "Afraid of what?" Mara pressed gently. "Afraid of losing you," Ilara blurted out. The words hung in the air, and Mara's expression shifted, her eyes clouding with surprise. Ilara's heart pounded against her ribs, and she wished she could take back what she'd said. But the words were out, and now she had to face the consequences. Mara's silence stretched, each second feeling like an eternity. Finally, Mara spoke, her voice soft. "Ilara, you would never lose me. You're my best friend." "Nothing can change that." Ilara wanted to believe her, but fear still gnawed at her. She knew her feelings for Mara went beyond friendship, but she'd buried them, afraid to confront the possibility that Mara might not feel the same way. And now that her secret was out, Ilara felt exposed, vulnerable. Mara reached out, tucking a stray strand of hair behind Alar's ear. The gesture was innocent enough, yet it sent shivers down Alar's spine. "Look at me," Mara said softly. Alar met Mara's gaze, searching for understanding, for reassurance. In that moment, something shifted between them. Mara's eyes, usually filled with mirth and mischief, were now serious, intense. And then she did something that took Alar's breath away. Mara leaned in and kissed her. It wasn't a fleeting, awkward peck. It was a kiss that spoke volumes, a kiss that held unspoken feelings and desires. The world around Alara seemed to fade away. The clatter of dishes, the murmur of conversations, all of it became a distant hum as she lost herself in the kiss. Mara's lips were soft, yet they held a firmness that grounded Alara. It was a sensation she'd longed for, dreamed about, yet never dared to hope for. When Mara pulled away, Alara's heart ached a little, but it was a good kind of ache, the kind that promised something more. Mara's cheeks were flushed, her eyes sparkling with emotion. "I've wanted to do that for so long," she whispered, her voice husky. Alara's throat tightened. "Me too," she managed to say, her voice barely a whisper. They stayed locked in each other's embrace for a while, savoring the moment. The weight of unspoken feelings finally lifted. The cafe might have buzzed with activity, but for Alara and Mara, time stood still. They didn't know what the future held, but in that shared kiss, they found a connection that transcended words. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the cafe, they knew one thing for certain: this was just the beginning of their story. If you like this video, you might also like another series, where we follow a teen as they navigate their identity and relationships. And if you want to support us, please consider becoming a member. Your support allows us to keep creating free resources. Thanks for watching. See you next time.